Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is going to be my favorites for the month of May, and I have to admit, most of these are products that I brought with me on vacation to England and Ireland. And if you're curious about my recent vacation, I got back, geez, I guess only 5 days ago now, but I vlogged the entire trip, and there are 3 vlogs up right now on my channel from the trip. There's 2 about England, and more specifically London, because that's where we were centered, and then the other one's about Ireland and Galway and Dublin, because those are the 2 cities that we were in. I'll link to everything down below. So the first product I have to talk about is this palette that has already been in favorites. I've already sung the praises of this thing, but I brought it with me on vacation and I still love it dearly. It's the ColourPop Chasing Rainbows palette. I love this so much that even though I wore it for 10 or 11 days straight, I still put it back on my eyes today when I was getting ready to film this video, because I am so in love with this palette. It is such a good palette. Not only just to play around with in terms of the color combinations in here, but it's perfect for travel. It's compact and sleek enough that you can pop this pretty much in any makeup bag and it will fit perfectly. And the colors in here are really what makes it for me. What's funny to me is that I brought this with me because I already knew I really liked the rainbow colors in here, but I thought I was gonna get more use out of the neutral colors in here, because that's what I tend to prefer wearing when I'm going on vacation, because I don't usually like to have to think too much about my eyeshadows. I just want to pop something on, get out the door, and then go explore whatever city I'm in. So I thought for sure I was gonna be using these 2 brown colors up here. Never did. Never reached for them. I reached for all the other rainbow colors in here, and there was not a single look that I put together that I wasn't like in love with. And maybe that's tooting my own horn, but the color combinations in here are so easy to work with and everything really goes together. Because I was forced to use this palette for 2 weeks straight, I discovered combinations of colors that I hadn't done before that I really fell in love with. Specific shades I really enjoyed would be Eclipse down here, which is kind of a silver, which honestly, I found myself moving away from silver eyeshadow over the years because I was so in love with MAC's Electra eyeshadow and I overused that sucker. I went through like 2 pans of it, I think, and I've got like a 3rd one in my makeup collection now. And Electra is a very cool tone silver. This one actually has quite a bit of taupe in it, so I found that this one was beautiful all over the lid. Not playing over here is kind of purple. It's a pale iridescent purple. Used that all over the lid too. I used Woke through the crease a lot, which was a lot of fun because I feel like I normally put a brown through the crease, and I'm feeling kind of tired of that. So using something that's a bit more of a peach was a lot of fun. Keep Cool over here, the dark purple, is pretty much what I used, I think, every single time to put on my outer corner, and it worked with everything in here. I'm so pleased with this palette, and I know it was part of their holiday launch, but I'm pretty sure it's still available on their website. And if you had any speck of interest in this palette, if there was anything that was even remotely interested in this one, please just go buy it. Just go buy it in your next ColourPop order, because I really feel like this is one of my favorite palettes ever in my collection. The only thing I found annoying about this though was because I was traveling, there's no mirror here, and I found that really irritating because I had to grab for another mirror versus I would just like to hold this up and dab my brush in here to do my makeup. So that's my only complaint about this palette, but truly I feel like this is a perfect palette. So there's no mirror in that palette, and I had to use the one in my Benefit Cheek Leaders Mini Pink Squad palette, which is really just minuscule. It's a really small mirror to be using. But I'm mentioning this because this was another absolute favorite for the month. I love both Cheek Leader palettes. I think they're fantastic, and I brought both of them with me on vacation. So they're both already phenomenal. I think I've already mentioned them in a favorites, but I really wanted to talk about this pink one in particular because I found myself using the highlighter in this one when I didn't think that I would reach for it at all. I was convinced I was gonna reach for, is it Cookie in the other palette, because it's got kind of like typical champagne colored highlighter and it just kind of goes with everything. But the mix of colors in the Chasing Rainbows palette meant that I was using a lot of purple on my eye, and the Tickle highlighter shade in here is kind of it's got a gold shift to it, but the base of the color is kind of like a lavender pink, and I ended up reaching for this highlighter practically every single day when I was on vacation. And Julie, whom I was traveling with, actually noticed my highlighter one day and she was like, what the heck are you wearing on your cheeks? I don't even know what color to call it because I see gold, but there's also some purple in it. And I was like, it's this random highlighter in this one Benefit palette called Tickle. I know the Cheek Leader palettes are really hard to come by, and I've had a hard time finding them online lately. I think I've only really seen them in stores, so if you can't find them online, please go check them at a local retailer because these palettes are fantastic. And I mean, I'm specifically talking about the highlighter today because that's the one that I was definitely reaching for the most throughout the past month, but I love the blushes in here. I love the other palette. It's got the Hoola bronzer, and then I think it's Gold Rush blush. Really like these, but Tickle really surprised me this past month. And again, it's not a shade that I thought I was going to reach for because it's strange looking. Like I don't reach for a lot of pink gold because it reminds me of NARS Orgasm, and I'm just kind of like done with that color shift. But this one was really, really pretty. The next one I have to talk about is a perfume, and I was gifted this at a PR event. Whoa, it must have been over the holidays, so probably November, December. And for PR to gift you a fragrance with your name engraved on it, which they have Rochelle right back here, is very risky in my opinion because you don't know if the person that you're giving the perfume to is actually going to like it. And this is a big old bottle that probably cost about $120 because large format perfumes are expensive. So I was kind of like, oh man, what if I don't like this perfume that they've engraved my name into? And thankfully wasn't an issue. I'm really, really liking the scent of this Burberry perfume. I think it's called Burberry Her, but there's no other label on it other than the Burberry logo down here to indicate what it actually is. If I had to tell you what this smells like, I could not. I looked up the scent online just to figure out what the heck it was because it smells like nothing I have ever smelled before. And on Fragrantica, I think it said that a lot of people said it smelled like a strawberry milkshake. And I was just like, ew, gross. I don't want to smell like a strawberry milkshake. I hate strawberry milkshakes. But I didn't really get that scent out of this. This to me just smells not floral, but like flirty, feminine, but not like overly feminine. You know, like that super floral scent where it's just like it gags you almost. This is more subtle but sweet and flirty. My description is not on point, but you get the sort of idea that you get out of the scent. But I have to say, ever since I read those comments on Fragrantica saying that this smells like a strawberry milkshake, I cannot get the idea of that out of my head for this scent. So I do smell a little bit of strawberry in this, but it's not something that I ever would have pinpointed in the fragrance if somebody hadn't told me that. I do find that the, what are these terms? Is it sillage that makes it last a really long time on your skin? Because it does. I feel like I put this on in the morning and then come supper time or even later into the evening, I can still smell this on my wrist if I really hold it up to my nose. I mean, the scent of it dissipates on yourself as we all adapt to the perfume that we're wearing. But if I sniff my wrist, I will smell it later on. So I like that it does last a really long time on my skin anyway. What's interesting about this though is that I find that the sprayer puts out a really long spray. Like if you push this down from top to bottom, I can pretty much cover my entire forearm with fragrance. I've never had a bottle do that before. I don't know why this pump is any different than any other bottle I've had, but you get a lot of product out in one spray. Most people would probably opt to just do half a spray if they're gonna be covering like their wrists or their neck. I've started to do the full long spray, so I don't know if I smell like too much perfume, but yeah, interesting side note about this thing. Anyway, really enjoy it. I'm really glad that I like the perfume that they'd selected for me because that's totally hit and miss, but yeah, pretty sure this is called Burberry Her. Really liking this one. And the last product I'm going to talk about is a shower gel by Bath & Body Works, and this really takes me back. So this is the Satsuma scent by The Body Shop, and it's been around as long as I have been aware of The Body Shop. I remember buying their glycerin soap in the Satsuma scent when I was like, 13, maybe 12. I love this scent. It's like oh, how many years later? 23 years later, and I'm still madly in love with the scent of Satsuma. I like this a lot in the summertime because it's more of a, well, I mean, it's a citrus scent. It's fresher, it's cleaner, it's more reinvigorating in the morning. And I bought this huge old tub quite a while ago now, and I've just been waiting for the warmer months to start using it. I'm so enamored with this scent. I've been using it for so long, and I will never get tired of that fresh citrus boost in the mornings, because that's when I shower. The only thing I find really cumbersome about this particular size, it's the 750 ml, is that this pump top is just not high enough to put your poof underneath. Like if you're looking at it, it's really quite tight to the bottle and it's not very high. And if I put my poof sort of in here and pump down, I don't know, it's just irritating. I don't like the size of it. So I've been decanting it into a smaller squeezy tube to just use in the shower because it's easier that way. I love pump tops in general for shower gels, but I find this one is just, it's too small overall. Anyway, that's just a small little complaint about this particular packaging. Really, all I care about is the actual scent and the efficacy of the shower gel, and really, it's been so good to me for so many years. Now, if only they would bring back Oceanus. Or Oceanus, how do people pronounce that? Do you remember that aquatic scent that they used to have in like the late 90s and early zeros? I loved it so much, but they no longer make it, so I'm still picking up Satsuma with the hopes that they'll one day release Oceanus again. Oceanus? Oceanus? I know I've heard people say it both ways, but I have no idea which one is correct. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye!